Blues is Afrobeat when it's oppressed, when it's enslaved.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Bluescast. I'm your host, Apache. On July 13th, 2024, I went backstage at the Celebrate Brooklyn concert to sit with a man who views music as a front line for liberation, Sean Kuti. Quick disclaimer, it was hot, the AC was on, so it's a little bit noisy. Today, we're redlining the map that was drawn for our music and tracing the rhythm back to the people, not the land. We're looking at the blues in Brooklyn and beyond, starting with a question that reframes every song on your playlist. How do you see the historical connection between the blues and the sounds of the continent?
Blues is Afrobeat when it's oppressed, when it's enslaved. Reggae is Afrobeat when it's isolated. These forms, all our music is African music, even though we are made to feel as if we should name our music by the places where we were when we made them, to take away our strength and our power. So we don't think reggae is African music. We don't think hip hop is African music. We think it's American music. So African people don't connect to it as if it is their music. They think if they're doing hip hop, they're doing American music. They think if they're playing salsa, they're playing South American music. But African people make these sounds. Regardless of anywhere we are, it is our intellectual property. And we must claim it by our name, not by the name of the land where it is from. But maybe the mistake I've made in my analogy now is to say blues is Afrobeat when it's not. Afrobeat is also the blues when it's colonized. You understand?
He's talking about the theft of the name. When they name the music after the land, like American blues or South American salsa, they strip the people of the deed so we don't connect to it as our own. Seon is telling us that the blues isn't just a genre. It is African intellectual property that was renamed to take away our power. And I thought it was very interesting when he said, Afrobeat is also the blues when it's colonized.
So Afrobeat and blues, right, they share a historical connection and a thematic focus. If you were tasked with creating a song fusing the two genres, how would you do it?
I'll call John Baptiste. And we'll work together and make something amazing. Yeah, because it is important that we also understand the experiences of our cousins and our brothers that lived it. So it would be, for me, because I'll feel disrespected if John Baptiste were to interpret Afrobeat without me. Or an African artist. So I would expect to give him the same respect, or American artists the same respect, and work with my cousins here. I was going to interpret the blues, not just because I've learned how to play it, and I can follow the 12 bar blues, I know I can play by blue notes, or play blue scale good, and that's not enough.
Seon knows he can play the 12-bar scale, but he says technical skill isn't enough to interpret the soul of a sound. To truly play the blues, you have to respect the bloodline and the lived experience of the people who carried it. He's not looking for a feature. He's looking for a witness to the shared struggle.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of blues musicians have started with me, a lot of jazz musicians. Last month, I was still playing with the New Orleans big band, the Soul Rebels. I played with them at the Hollywood Bowl. So for me, I played with Robert Glasper, produced my third album. Yes, talking about the blues.
And he's not just talking theory. From the Hollywood Bowl to the streets of New Orleans, Seon is actively bridging the gap between the revolutionary Afrobeat of Lagos and the modern blues of America. He's showing us that when we collaborate across the diaspora, the music becomes a tool for collective liberation.
I think the audience and I connect to the music. This is, I channel, conduit, trying to pass something. So, and if they can, I connect them to that thing which the ancestors passed through me to them. So I always say at my shows also, they are not here because of me. I'm here because of them.
He doesn't see himself as a star. He sees himself as a conduit. When the ancestors speak through the rhythm, the stage becomes a front line. In the blues, we call that feeling the spirit. Whether it's in a dressing room in Prospect Park or a club in Brooklyn. That frequency is what connects the blues in Brooklyn and beyond.
You know, Afrobeats is not an evolution of Afrobeat. Afrobeats is his own thing. You know, is a pop interpretation of African cultural sounds, not only from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Congo, from Tanzania. You know, this is African music of celebration. You know, it is the natural evolution really of Juju music. But even though it's called Afrobeats, it is coming from Juju music, Sonny Ade, to Afro Juju, Shinopi As, to this modern day and all this. This is its natural. That's its evolutionary root, actually. You know, and that's why when you hear their beats, there's a lot of talking drums, congas, and Fela didn't play that. Use all those traditional instruments in his music. You know, there's more Juju music, Fuji music. You know, African pop music from Nigeria especially is an evolution of this sound, really. Afrobeat is revolutionary music. You know, music of African liberation.
Yes.
You know, and its own line has been through my brother, myself, bands like Antibalance, Tony Allen, Le Frere Smith in France, so many great bands all over the world that play Afrobeat music and interpret it in their own form today. You know, even in Chile, yeah, we have Numen Afrobeat Orchestra, you know, who are interpreting it with a South American vibe, and you know, so I feel like we must not mistake those two paths.
Yes.
You know, even though modern day African pop music is called Afrobeats, I think this is because also the fame that Afrobeat has. So just like when dancehall was going to emerge from Jamaica, it was called Raga because people knew reggae, and okay, so you could link it and say, okay, this music is coming from there. You know, so I think that's where this little confusion is from. Not taking away anything from Afrobeats and what they accomplish and how nice and interesting the sound is.
He's setting the record straight. While the world is dancing to Afrobeats, the pop celebration evolved from Juju and Fuji music. Seon is carrying Afrobeat. One is for the party, the other is for the liberation. Understanding that distinction is how we protect the revolutionary roots of our sound.
As I said, it's our sound. If I wanted to do some Afrobeat with some blues music, I'll call up my friends in the blues world and go chop it up, jam with it. You know? The other way to do it is to actually listen to yourself. Because it's all encoded in all our sounds, all our rhythms. If you've already unlocked the musical side of your genius, because this world really only gives us time to unlock one side. If we didn't live under this capitalist oppression and we had the free time, we could unlock more. But let's say you unlock that musical side. If you really pay attention, you could make it, you could do it. But the easiest way is to connect with your brother that does it already and say, listen, let's jam.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Seon's final word to every young musician is this: the music is already encoded in our rhythms. We don't need permission to unlock our genius. We just need to reach out to our brothers and sisters and jam. July 13th was a reminder that the blues is the living language of survival. We're reclaiming the sound and we're reclaiming the name. This is the Brooklyn Bluescast, exploring the blues in Brooklyn and beyond. See you on the front line.